and you're listening to a WNBA State of Mind. Stay tuned for a short commercial break.
You know what I mean? I had to go to storage and pull out the banner. I'm like, I can't look sloppy for this. You know what I mean?
It's silly because you hit me up, you was like, is this audio, video, or is it both? I was like, yeah, get dressed. Don't be over there.
Right. I was in t-shirt and pants. Like, what? I gotta get up.
It's all good. We're going to keep it light. I wanted to definitely sit down and, ever since I came down and, spoke at your event, which is still buzzing with me. I appreciate that invite so I can come and meet some of the kids. They helped me get my Instagram followers up, following me and coming around. And, and some kids will come and ask questions already, for some advice and stuff like that. So I always appreciate doing stuff like that. So yeah.
And let me clarify for all the fans. I reference t-shirt and panties because I'm a big Adina Howard fan, and I just went to go see her a couple of weeks ago in Columbus, Ohio. So let me clarify that. I got drawers on.
Let me tell you something. Adina Howard, she used to come up to Utah a lot and come to games because she was doing some stuff. She was affiliated with Disney Films at that time. And she was big at that time too. Her album had come out and she was the hottest thing since the can of paint. So I was glad to get the opportunity to chill with her a couple of times, to sit and laugh and talk. A funny girl. If she has music out there, make sure you go and you get Adina Howard.
No question.
Shout out to her. So let's start this off. It's the 6th episode of season 2, and we're here with my guy Lamont Taylor, who's the CEO of Get Me Recruited national camps and tournaments out in North Carolina. We'll discuss the up-and-coming spring Hot 100 boys and girls events and who's the hot prospects coming up out in 2022, 2023, and beyond. So, Lamont, welcome to the show, the WNBA State of Mind, where we mainly discuss basketball, but we love other sports. Today, we have an all-star cast of ballers, which makes for a great show. Lamont, what's up?
What's good? I am excited to be here. Honored that anybody want to hear my story. I tell people all the time, I'm just blessed and thankful that I have a platform that puts me in a position that people care about what I say and that it matters. And, I know to use it in the right way and not abuse it and, come from the heart, man. So, hey, I'm glad I'm here. I'm glad to be talking to A. Goody.
Thank you. You're welcome. At the same time, platform indeed, Lamont. Introduce yourself and elaborate on some of the things that I didn't when I introduced you, because you're so much more than camps and tournaments. It's Get Me Recruited. Talk a little bit about what that's all about.
Well, Get Me Recruited is like what it says. When I started this along with my VP, Robert Scruggs, almost 10 years ago, it was to educate parents and players on how to get them recruited. Because I get all the time, hey, I want to get recruited. Everybody wants to get recruited when they're playing, right? But people don't know what they think they know. There's a lot more to this process than hitting a jumper or being able to dribble, or even highlights now, because social media is so big. There's a lot more to the process. So we started this with the intention of you know, informing parents and building upon it to a national stage. Um, we're continuously build, but we're doing things. We talk about 2022. We've only did one tournament in the past, and with the success of it, 2022, we now expanded to 5 tournaments that we're doing, along with, and we have those coming up, the Elite 8, and we do those differently. So it's not just an open tournament for anybody. We only take 8 teams in that age division, and they're all elite. To kind of mirror our showcases, right? Our showcases are geared toward elite players. Now, that's not to say with these showcases, we don't give players that deserve a shot, because some people are considered the best in their area, right? And let's say they come from a small town. We've had come from Rhode Island, for example, right? And they're the best players there, but they really don't understand that, that's a misperception of how good you are by looking at being the best player in your area. So what we said, well, let's bring the best player from all the areas and let them compete. And then you could see exactly where you stand. And that was important for me, for them to understand and not believe, that they're better than what they are, or that they don't need to keep working. And that's definitely something that we see more of today. A misconception is, I'm great, and I'm going to make it to the NBA because everybody today is the next LeBron and Michael Jordan, and that's just not the facts. So we started these events to give a national platform to all kids in all areas. So it's been a beautiful thing. It's really been a beautiful thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And to watch that whole process, you said that you've been around for 10 years, and I remember, seeing you from the very beginning and how you were starting out, and from where you are, from here to there, it's grown so much, and, it's a joy to watch that process and see how many kids come through there. And that leads me right to the next thing I want to talk about. People have nothing but good things to say about you. Talk about the importance of that. Because we all want to give back. We all want to make a difference in a kid's lives. But talk about when the parent comes back.
Yeah, well, first of all, let me say, not everybody has good things to say about you. It's funny how the people that have never met you, never had a conversation about you, have formed an opinion about you. And it's one thing to have something in their mind, but it's another to go out and speak on it as if right? So what I do, and I think it kind of resonates with my company, is we're touchable, we're personable. It's not, sign up and you're a registration number, or you're just a registration fee. For us, it really is about the people we serve. So, and I'm real big with my staff, and we have meetings every Monday night, right? So I'm on Zoom with them every Monday night, and one of the important things they'll tell you, I'm real big on customer service, right? Because at the end of the day, we're nothing without them. They're the reason we're here, right? Don't forget that. Don't get caught up, this is me personally, don't get caught up in it being about you, right? Whether that's good or bad, because you'll get caught in your feelings, and it can sometimes make you bitter when people don't appreciate you, because just as many people appreciate you, there's that many people that don't, right? And I'm gonna tell you, and I tell this story, because it was a turning point for me. I remember a young man that I had been, pretty cool with his dad, and ever since the kid was young, I've been boosting and telling people he's gonna be special. He's something, and I'm looking out for him. And me and his dad was close, and he went to Oak Hill, right? He went to Oak Hill, played at Oak Hill, and then there became a point where I wanted him to come to my event, right? Or back to one of my big events now that he was at Oak Hill, and he couldn't make it for, reasons that he couldn't. I'll just leave it there. And I was upset. I was like, look, man, I've done all these things for you. I've been there for you when nobody else was, and I just asked you one time to come to my event, and you're telling me you can't come. Yeah, I feel some type of way about that, right? And this night, this was probably about 5 years ago, right? This night, somewhere along in there. But anyway, that night, his answer changed my outlook, right? Because he said, Lamont, you my guy, and I don't mean to offend you. But I want you to take a moment for a second. And you're telling me how upset you are that my son or other kids don't come to your camp. He said, but you have all these successful camps. Do you know how many people are just trying to have one successful camp? He said, and you have many. He said, instead of talking about the kids that can't make it or don't want to come, why not concentrate on the kids that do and the parents that do support you, right? And I'll tell you, because back then, it was real stressful trying to get all these high major kids come to your event, and especially when they think they're better, they're too good for it, all these things you deal with. And when he said that, right, I got off the phone, Goody, and the tears just run down my face, right? Because the load was off me, right? The load was off. There was no more pressure. I felt like he's right. I need to concentrate on the people that do. So what I've done in the last few years is not worry so much about the kids that can't come, but concentrate on giving your best to the ones that are there. So we make sure that parents are educated. We make sure that kids get the best competition and the best experience and learn life lessons while they're there. So when parents come back, and I had a parent recently tell me, she said, Lamont, this was the day that they left the camp. In fact, the last camp you were at, it was a young lady, right? Her mom hit me and said, my daughter, for the first time, said she was proud of herself. She said, we almost lost her where she attempted suicide.
Whoa.
Yes, she said she attempted suicide in January because of the things she was dealing with. She said, and for the first time since then, today she was proud of herself. She said that meant more to me than anything you've ever done for us. So it's those situations, Goody, why I do what I do. Those are the situations.
Wow. I tell you, getting involved with kids is so emotional because you just have no idea what you could be doing for that kid. You have no idea about their home life and what they may be dealing with, what they're struggling with. COVID has been so hard on these kids. During this time, I've lost two of my kids, players, and a lot of it was just bad decisions during bad times.
Yeah.
And so to hear that it's a success story, and that's what it's really all about. In the essence of it all, is about the legacy that you're gonna leave behind, and the people that you're gonna touch, and and there's gonna be somebody that's gonna continue to take it higher. When you're listening to a WNBA State of Mind, I got my guy Lamont Taylor
right.
being recruited. Okay, I'm gonna take it back just a little bit. All right, you rank players in North Carolina, have national showcases and evaluations. I'm a parent and a kid. They're interested in coming. Walk me through that. Walk us through that whole process.
Well, so Most of the time we come off the recommendation of coaches, and just like colleges ask us who to go see, we're the same way. We can't see everybody, so we rely on good coaches that we know and contacts to let us know, hey, I got a kid that can really play, or, I played against this kid in Atlanta. There's one that you need to see. And so we reach out to them. And sometimes they reach out to us on social media, those type of things. Parents send us videos. We watch a lot of videos and see, the level. Although, don't send too many. I just had a dad the other day send me about 20 videos, and I'm like, I get it. I after the first 3 or 4, I get it, So, but we try to sift through and find players that can really, really play. And so from there, either we'll reach out to them or they'll reach out to us, and we'll have a conversation. We're going to talk about, what are you looking to get out of this, right? Because if you're just looking for another basketball camp, we might not be the group for you, right? Because we try to incorporate the whole recruiting experience, the whole process. So there will be workshops you attend that talk to you about the recruiting process. There'll be mentors there talking about social media and the good and the bad and how to use it. Personal hygiene, eating habits, nutrition. We talk about so many things, along with the skill set training that they get and the games. And we have NCAA compliance people there. So there's so much that we have involved. So if you're looking to become knowledgeable, play against great competition, then reach out to us at getmerecruited.com, and then we'll put you on the national stage, because that's what it's about. And you either gonna sink or swim. You're either gonna realize I can play with the best in the country, or realize I got to get back in the lab because I'm not as good as I thought I was.
Yeah, absolutely, definitely. Because I've been down there and I've watched, kids, and they get after it, and it's very, very competitive, on all of the levels from middle school to high school. And so, when you come to, a Get Me Recruited event, definitely come with your A game. I mean, a B game will get you there.
Yeah.
But, what I'm saying, you definitely can't show up with a C game. It's going to be A high B, A high B.
Right, that's right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, I mean, each year, you add a new aspect to the event. What can we expect in 2022 from you? Because, I think I saw that you want to stretch into Virginia, and start doing the rankings in Virginia, and then, we had some conversations about some other areas. So talk a little bit about that.
And so, yeah, it's just about expansion, growth. Being in this business I could have taken an easier route of growth by using people that I wouldn't necessarily consider have the same goals as me or the same value. And that's not, let's just say I won't rub elbows with those that don't have good intentions. So I've been very picky about where I go, who I collaborate with, and so forth. But we do have things in the works from Jersey to Virginia to Alabama to Mississippi. We also, we're expanding. We've always done the Caribbean. We've always done Nassau, Bahamas. But it looks like this next summer we'll be expanding to Kingston, Jamaica, as well as Montego Bay. So we're working on, expanding those things, moving into tournaments. Even our events will always bring a little something different. When you come, they're surprised when they see that we have even entertainment set up for them. There's so many things that you never know what you're going to get when you come to our events, because We keep them fresh. We keep them new. This year we actually talked yesterday, and I have a meeting next week about something we're going to bring different to the March middle school showcases. So we're always trying to stay innovative. We're always, we look like we're trailblazers. We always do things that were not necessarily the norm until we started doing it. Playing music at events. You didn't see that too much when we started. Maybe one or two, but now it's become the norm because we brought that flavor. When we got in the game, we know we don't just talk to the kids, we can talk with the kids because we know the same people they do, right? I was just as devastated as they were when young Dolph was killed, right? Because I listened to young Dolph, you know what I mean? And so we can relate to these kids on so many levels, whether it's musically, whether it's, how we grew up, whether it be, some things that we're unique to and able to relate to these kids. We got young people in our group. We got, different cultures in our group. We got different ethnicities in our group. So we're kind of multicultural that kids can see somebody that look like them, right, at our events doing something other than shooting the basketball, right? Because being successful in basketball doesn't necessarily mean you made it by playing. You can be an executive. You can be a trainer. You can be a coach. You can be so many things that can be successful in this game, even if you don't quite make it by playing. And we try to teach them success is not limited, right? One of the things we talk about in our workshop, don't get caught up in, for example, comparing yourself to other kids that got offers, right? It's not your time. When it's meant for you, it will happen, right? So you have to work on your own timeline. Where you get caught up is when you start comparing yourself to other people. What's meant for you is meant for you. And we try to, really hit that home, especially in this world of social media where it looks like everybody's doing great, right? Social media will make you think that you're the only person in the world with problems. And so we try to, incorporate that whole aspect as well.
Yeah, definitely. That's good knowledge right there, brother. What I wanted to ask you to wrap things up, you gotta give it to me, all right? Male, female, in both categories. I want the top, briefly, give me the top male and female middle school, male, female, high school, in your opinion, that is coming out of your area.
So I won't say top because we like to make them wait on our rankings. However, I will say some kids that I like that have been to our event, right? All right, so coming out of Virginia, your area, 757, I actually introduced you at the event, Zanaya Williams. I can't say enough about Zanaya, how good she is, how her work ethic is, and I look at that. Her IQ, she has great parents that support her, those type of things. She's gonna be, you mark my words, a very good player. And we've seen a lot of players come through our events that are now top players in the country. So I'm really saying her, Jordan Speller, also another one from the Greenville area here in North Carolina, gonna be special. So those girls work. Another one is Janasia Spears. I'm actually going to watch her play. Her and another alum of ours, Malaya Jones, are absolutely killing it in Atlanta, Georgia. They are killing it, and they're going to be really good, and they're still young, 9th, 10th grade. So those are on my girls' side. On my boys' side, we just had a kid, Josiah Johnson, went MVP. The kid is a monster right now. 6'5", 8th grade. But there's also another kid that I think is going to be a late bloomer that we need to keep our eyes on. Tyson Thompson, 6'6" center, just starting to put it together. But mark my words, it's going to be special when he get there. You know what I mean? So I could talk all day about these kids that I know and love. You know what I mean? That's what's special for me. People say, well, Lamont, how you keep up with all these kids? I mean, you know, when you get to know Joyce Edwards in Columbia, South Carolina, when you get to know them, you know how well, and you keep up with Malaysia Fulwale, who's now one of the top players in the country. All of these girls come through our event, you know, so we get the opportunity to see them grow and see their level at early age. So I just love it. I mean, you know, so Goody, I encourage people, bring your kids, come see it for yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. You know, to take us up out of here, how can people keep up with you and follow you online on social media if they're interested in coming to one of your events?
Always getmerecruited.com is the website, but Get Me Recruited, the handle, is on all the platforms. It's on IG, Twitter, Facebook, and my name, Lamont Taylor, is on Facebook. You can find us there. You know, we're easy to find. I run all the social media, so you'll actually get directly with me. If you want to send an email, getmerecruited@gmail. Send us a video, drop us a line, let us see. Let us know where we need to come to see your child. You never know when we're going to pop in on you.
Yeah, absolutely. That's good stuff. And like I said, you're listening to a WNBA State of Mind. I appreciate you coming on my show. I appreciate you having me. I feel like I'm sitting in your living room over there, brother. Peace out. You know, we're going to stay in touch. We're going to do some things. The cuff, definitely. I love you, brother. Thanks for coming on the show. And to all my people out there, Sammy Sorso, one love. Have a great weekend.
All right. Y'all take